Hey folks, what's happening? Today we are going to be asking for Trobils. Asking for Trobils is a game for 2 to 7 players. It is a worker placement game with, as you can see here, a very interesting look. Does the game in the box live up to these brave choices that the company has made on the cover and pretty much every component? Let's find out. Okay, so here we go. This is the game, I was thinking of doing this review on this table, but I think I'm gonna spare you that. Hold on, I'll be right back. Alright, hopefully the blue's a little bit better. I'm not 100% sure, but we're gonna go with that. Okay, the objective of the game is to get rid of these Trobils. Trobils are these characters, these funky looking characters that have shown up on the Planet of Paradise. Planet of Paradise right there. And we are getting rid of them for fun and profit. This is how many victory points you get if you eliminate them. You might get some money out of it. And this up here is what you need to eradicate them. And so the game plays out as a worker placement game. In this case, you are sending out ships, which you have, to these different locations, different planets, basically, or moons, in order to take whatever action they give you. So, on your turn, you are going to be doing one of two things. You either send out a ship to one of these places that can have a ship on it, basically every place that has that symbol, you can put a ship there, or you're going to be recalling as many of your ships as you want from the board. And so let's say that it's this player's turn first. Every player has this little board. You start with one ship, and you start with 5 credits, which is those, and then you take an action. Each place on the board, as I said, does something different, but most of them really do function in a similar way. What you're trying to do is basically collect a set of goods that are then going to let you come down here and get rid of these guys. And so the common things here, the things you typically need are space carrots. Space carrot cake. You need these traps. You need that ore, which is this stuff. And sometimes you need these steel traps or some slugs. This is all the same stuff, which is all basically grabbed from the table here. So you need crystal. You got crystals over here, which typically you turn crystals into slugs. You get steel traps here. You get carrots, space carrots here, which are super cute. I'm skipping a couple of them because they're slightly different. Over here you get these traps for credits. Over here you get the ore. And over here is where you actually go and get rid of the guys with the stuff you need. So, on my turn, this player here, might do something as simple as play their ship there and take 2 of these and keep them in their supply. And then the next player might go, and they can go anywhere they want to on the board. In fact, you can even go where someone already is. And that's part of the tricky nature of the game. If I go where this player is, I'm basically giving them back their ship. So I'm speeding them up, technically, by 1 turn. Because next turn, this player will not have to spend their round recalling. They can still place. And so I wouldn't do that, but let's say I go here and get 2 space carrots. And whatever you get is printed right there on the board. 2 of these, 2 of those. One other thing you can do in this game is you can get more ships. If you go to this space, you'll be able to get another ship and then 1 more. So you can have 3 with 3 players. And you're going to need 3 credits and you're going to need 3 ore. And so this player might go here and grab 2 ore and start getting ready for that. Then it's back to this player. They simply retreat. That player would also retreat. That player would have to retreat, and so on. So as you can see, that rhythm is very interesting, but it's also, it'll be broken as you play, because this player might have 2 ships and then get sent 1 back, you know, get 1 cent back rather, and then they'll play like 2 more times before they even have to pull anything off the board. So there's all of that. Okay, a couple of other places I haven't talked about yet. This space here, if you go there, you get 2 credits, but you also get one of these cards. And these cards are all sorts of stuff. They have pirates and lawmen and passengers and all sorts of things. Most of them come with a standee, and they tell you to put it out somewhere in one of the zones, and that it does something typically when someone goes there. So in this case, it's a pirate. It says you put it in any location that doesn't have a stand already. So I could put it, let's say, here, which is where people go to get more ships. And then it says any player visiting that location has to choose a resource and place it on this card. And when you yourself visit, you get all that stuff and then discard the card and get rid of the stand. So he's attacking people while he's sitting there. Anybody who comes through, got to pay something. And so there's a bunch of these. They're all very clever. They're all very nicely done. They usually have a little joke there, which is pretty cute too. So there's that space. One more space I haven't talked about is up here, in which you can go. You can pay 2 coins for the first one, and then as you have more and more of these, you'll have to pay more. But then you get to buy one. So let's say this player will go there. They can spend 2 of these credits, and then you could buy one of these, of the 3 available, and you can stick it on your player board on any side you want to, and therefore make that option stronger for you. Now, for right now, obviously I'm obscuring the planets on the board with all the resources, but normally I would put this stuff off the board so you can tell what everything is. But let's say, for example, that I want to put this here. That space is this space right here, as you can see. And so that means every time I go there, not only do I get to pay to get some traps, in this case it's two credits for 3 traps, or 1 credit for 2 traps, or just 1 free trap, but I also get a credit. And in fact, if I did this, when I go there, I get the credit first. Then I could turn that credit right around and get some traps. So you can do really cool combos with those upgrades. And so once I take this, again, I would put it somewhere, and then we would replenish it. In this case, if you get that one, you get a space carrot, crystals, or all sorts of stuff. So that's basically it. You keep playing, you collect all this stuff, you then go here. There are 3 spaces here where you can go, and let's say I want to attack this guy. If I have 3 carrots, 1 trap, 1 box, and 2 ore, I get rid of all that stuff. I take this guy off the board, I keep him, he's 7 victory points for me. And while I have these, 1 or any, as many as I want to, if I go to the center here, so one of those spots, then I can get the money out of it. And so then I would get, not only would I keep my 7 victory points, but I would also get 3 coins, flip it over. It no longer is anything. It's still the victory points, but I can no longer get money out of it. We keep doing that until this deck of monsters is gone, of Trobils. Near the end of the deck, there are some cities. Still a trouble. Okay, there's a city. There are as the number of players plus 1, so there's 4 in here. They're near the bottom of the deck, and so once you flip one of these, it represents that, you know, the people in the planet are rejoicing. It's getting better. It gives you some victory points for having kept some stuff at the end of the game for everybody. Once all of those come out, which are not that one, city. So this one gives you, for example, for 3 ore, you get a victory point. 3 crystals, you get a victory point. So once all these come out, you score up the bonuses as well, plus the Trobils you've killed. Whoever has the most points is the winner. One more thing I should mention, the board here is double-sided. This is the side I showed you in the overview, which I really like the look of. The other side, in my opinion, is hideous and should be avoided. It's the same, but without the blue gradient. That is hard to see. I guess the first thing that has to be addressed when we're talking about asking for Trobils here is the look, really. And obviously you can make up your own mind in that regard because, well, you can see the game. But the one thing I will say is that the game's look is very divisive. I've seen a lot of people really dislike it, think that it's a strange and insane choice to have everything basically be orange. And some people who like it. I'm in the I like it camp. I think it's an interesting, bold move. It's unique, and I appreciate it. I wouldn't want every game to look this way, but I like having one that does. I think it's well done, and it doesn't hurt the gameplay, in my opinion. I think everything works well, and it gives the game a quirky charm, which the game really pushes for. So there's that. The gameplay itself is pretty good. I really enjoy the game. I have found myself thinking that it's a little repetitive because, as you can see in the overview, there is a lot of the same kinds of actions. A lot of the actions on the board are place a ship and get something that you then turn around and give back to kill the critters, the Trobils. So it can feel repetitive, you know. The game's not that short. It's about 75 minutes or so, typically. So that's my main strike against it. I don't give it higher marks because of that, because the game feels repetitive. However, I do think it largely makes up for that with the game, sort of the funny aspect of the game, all the clever puns, all the character standees and cards are really cute and clever. The mechanisms of placing a ship and pushing someone out are very interesting in a worker placement game. I really like that. I thought that was just a brilliantly designed bit of the game in which sometimes you really want something, but you struggle with that. Yeah, but if I go there, I'm letting so-and-so go again before they have to recall their ships, right? Really cool stuff. I like that. I'm a big fan of this one. I think it's not revolutionary. I think it's a good intro type of worker placement game. If you like humor in your games, if you want something a little simpler, then this is a good worker placement game as an intro worker placement game, you know. And so I got to give it a thumbs up. I recommend this one. I think it's worthwhile to acquire, and I think it's worth your time. Check this one out, Asking for Trobils. Thumbs up from me.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.